Okay, good morning, everyone. It's on, yeah. Yeah, so here we are. Yeah, it kind of feels timeless, these retreats. In some ways, it feels like it's outside of time. Yeah, so I'm just going to say a few things about this idea of integration and going back into the world. And but I also really want to hear from everyone here. You know, I really love when the wisdom starts coming alive in people, and I'd love to hear your insights and your takeaways. You know what it's going to be when you go back into the world. So yeah, I really I'm not going to speak for too long here. I'd love to dive into yeah, just your insights and realizations. And first, yeah, I'm going to address this question or several questions that often come up at the end of these retreats. You know, so the mind generates these questions. Of course, you know, these questions come up in the conditioned mind. So the conditioned mind asks, how do I stay awake in life? You know, how do I integrate this retreat? How do I live from a place of presence? You know, and the conditioned mind doesn't. The conditioned mind doesn't do that. It wants to get involved. It wants to know again. It wants a project, you know, something I can do. Yeah, it's only that conditioned mind wants to know. So the path is to, you know, to have a don't know mind. You know, the beginner's mind is the beginning and the end of the path. You know, the greatest teachers have realized this. You know, this phrase "beginner's mind." I think it comes from Suzuki Roshi, and he said he had a quote. He said, "In the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities. You know, there are infinite possibilities, but in the expert's mind, there are few." So the greatest masters have realized this. You know, Socrates said, "I only know that I don't know." You know, this was supposedly the wisest man in Greece, and this is his big thing. You know, I only know that I don't know. So beginner's mind is liberation. You know, if we really understand that, if we learn to release that grasping and that seeking, then life, you know, life organizes itself around awakened consciousness. You know, life flows through then. There's an intelligence to that, an aliveness. The energy is alive. So, you know, it only seems that we lose the awakened state. You know, why does it seem that we lose the awakened state? We seem to lose that state when we want something to be other than what is. You know, so, you know, the problem is not that we have these thoughts. The problem is that we believe those thoughts and we identify with them. You know, it really, I love that quote by Nisargadatta that I think I gave it last night. You know, once you know that you're not the mind, doesn't matter if the mind is busy or still, because you are not the mind. So, if you're in that game of, trying to push it away, or you're getting caught in it, you know, this is samsara. This is the endless cycle. So it's just recognizing that you're always here. The awareness is always here. It's so simple. It comes down to not believing the next thought. Not believing it, not trying to push it away, just letting it be exactly as it is. So when we go back into life after a retreat like this, there are sort of three levels that exist, and these are the levels that always exist. There's the gross physical, there's the subtle energetic, and there's the causal, the formless, or the that which is beyond. And so whatever has unfolded here, there's many of you have had direct experiences, glimpses of the truth of who you are, or more than glimpses, full realizations, full awakenings. So this is the causal. This is the, there's nothing that we can point to in that. This is the direct experience. And then, removed from that, there's this subtle imprint of what happened, the subtle memory. There's some branching patterns created, some vibration, subtle imprint in the wiring. So this is the intermediate part of that. Sometimes the bliss and the energy. There's that memory of that. A sense of ease in the body. So this this sort of body imprint, or energy imprint memory, can be sort of like a bridge back to direct experience for us. We can sort of re-engage that within ourselves. And then one level removed from that is, the gross level, which is, the mind-body. And within the mind, that conditioned mind, is just the story of what happened. So there's the direct experience, there's the energy and phenomena around that, and then there's the mind commentary about that. And we just want to make this conscious and not mistake any of the two, the phenomenal for that direct experience. I love that saying from Dogen, no trace of enlightenment, and that no trace continues endlessly. So that no trace needs no integration. Awareness needs no development process. We hear this phrase, everything is perfect as it is. And, so this is true. This is the absolute truth. And yet the great teachers like Ramana Maharshi taught vigilance. Or teachers like the Buddha never stopped meditating. So it's an interesting paradox, everything is perfect as it is. And yet there's this vigilance, but it's not a vigilance to do something. It's a very unique sort of vigilance. It's a vigilance to abide as the self. It can be useful to have reminders for the mind, for the mind to remember its place. We have all these techniques that train the mind. I like the analogy of gardening. You taking care of the mind is like gardening. You don't let the weeds get overgrown. There's ongoing maintenance, and we can do that without falling back into seeking. We don't do these techniques in order to find the truth. We're just doing these techniques to keep the mind clear, to bring about this clearing process, so that this avatar, this vessel, is just optimized for the human experience. So there's this ongoing maintenance to keep the mind clear. But we know we are not the mind. We're not the mind. This is just the vessel, the vehicle for this human experience. Dogen said, I love his teachings. They're just so simple and concise. He says, meditation, when we really know what meditation is, when we realize that true meditation is simply being, it's just abiding as the self, then meditation doesn't lead to enlightenment. Meditation is enlightenment. True meditation is just being here and now, without that mediating mind, without that I thought that comes through the operation of the five skandhas. This always being Buddha, always becoming Buddha. It's like, samadhi is both a stage of development and it's a state. And for those who haven't, come across Ken Wilber has some really amazing teachings, and he talks about waking up and growing up. These are the two dimensions of the path, and so waking up is just being here now. Growing up is this ongoing enlightenment project. This development within the time-bound part. This enlightenment project. So we're always engaged in both. This is the paradox. This is the pathless path. So I'm going to share a little story. This story is one from when I was at the Zen Center, and it's something that helped me to really recognize the delusion of the mind and how it operates. And so this was, you could say this, I received a Zen slap at the Zen Center. My teacher really did something that really helped me on the path, really kind of conveyed something at a deep level. So I'd like to pass this on in some way here. So this was, this was the first time I was at a session where I'd been doing all this meditation, went through absolute excruciating resistance with the self structure, but eventually mind and body dropped off, and I was just here, just present. And in Zen they have something called Dokusan, where you go and see the teacher. It's like a one-on-one check-in with the teacher. So I was fully present, and mind and body dropped off, and went and sat face to face with the teacher, and looked into his eyes, and it was this beautiful, like, infinite space looking into infinite space. You know, this pure being. We just sat there looking into each other's eyes, and then, you know, just like in the dyads, you know, sometimes there's more to clear. So something came up in the mind, in my mind, and this question came up. So there's this perfection of the moment, and yet the mind came up, and it wanted to ask a question. It wanted to somehow define the moment. It wanted to ask, is this Kensho, or is this Samadhi? You know, or something to that effect. I can't even remember what the question was. And in some of the traditions, there's this little thing that the teachers have. Sometimes it's called a vajra or a dorji. It's sometimes referred to as the thunderbolt. You know, and it represents the truth, and it's just like this little Zen stick. So you know, the teacher saw that my mind was starting to move. So I was about to ask this question, and he grabbed the vajra, and he had this fierce look that only a Zen master can have, and he raised it as if to strike me, you know, and in that moment I got it. He caught the mind, you know, just as it was about to move, and that moment landed. That landed. Yeah. So, you know, this awareness that we are, you know, it's just here, you know, and then, you know, the mind comes in. It wants to appropriate it in all these different ways, and we, you know, it's like that thunderbolt is there. There's a part of us that can recognize that mind, and it's that, you know, it's we can drop that mind, and yet let the mind be free. You know, let the words come through, let expression come through, let life come through, but don't look to the mind for the truth. You know, that's the delusion of the mind. You know, that seeking, you know, that labeling, that need to define and label, and this whole language construct, this whole construct of the five skandhas, you know, it locks us into this this I thought, this one that wants to know. But when we let go of that little knower, then the true knowing is just here. It's direct. So, yeah, so it's this simplicity, you know, the mind misses it. You know, believing that there's, you know, there has to be some process, samskaras, endless samskaras to purify in order for me to be free. But awareness was never in prison. That's the delusion. It's always been right here. Yeah, so just look out for the mind creating some new project, some new enlightenment project, some new thing to work on. After this retreat, I'm going to send out a big email that we always send, and in that email there will be integration materials. There'll be just more pointers pointing out the same thing I'm pointing to you right now. The pointers are helpful. There's going to be information about the various things we have on the Awaken the World site, and hooking up with dyad partners and all different things. So there'll be a big follow-up email, and we'll have links to all of the usual things people ask about. If you want to connect with Chad or do more breath work and all of that kind of thing, that'll all be in the email. And some people were asking about the schedule page, and you'll always have access to that schedule page. So if you want to do this retreat again on your own, you always have access to that link. And we'll actually be adding a few more things, just sort of tweaking that page over the next week. So some of the videos were, they're a little bit messed up, so we'll be cleaning it up, so you don't have to wade through some of the little glitches or mistakes on there. So I'd like to also mention, going back into life. So we've freed up a lot of energy, and when we go back into life, this little self, sometimes, after 7 days of doing this kind of work, it's like the little self feels like it's been in prison, for 7 days, and it's like, woohoo, I'm free, and I can go out and do all the things that I want to do again, and activate that old pattern. But now there's all this energy, this extra energy, so it's even more fun and awesome, and that can really give power to the little self. So I would say just really transition if you can. Take time to transition into life, into the world, and that little self can get involved in so many ways as we go back into the world. One of the big traps is that that little self will, there is, when we have an experience of awakening and dropping away of the mind, there's greater presence, but that little self can appropriate it, can say that, now I'm more awake. Everyone in the matrix is asleep, but I'm awake. I'm somehow better, or so I just want to hang out with awake people and do awake things, and so it creates this sense of separation in life. So just be conscious that can happen. The truth is, when we're really awake, it's not that character that's awake. There's no I that's awake. It's as if the world is awake. It's not me that's awake. It's like you see the one in everything, in everyone. You see someone living their life, and you see through the character. You see that it's the one awareness. So by awakening ourselves, we awaken the world, or we see the world as awake. We see it perfect as it is, without resistance to what is. And once again, we've addressed this in other ways in the retreat. People, when we say things like, it's perfect as it is, there's always objections to that. People will say, what about wars? What about torture? What about violence, cruelty? All of this is the consequence of the egoic mind, which is the resistance to what is. This is just that resistance playing out. This is the I thought in all of its forms. So when we see that, we allow it to be exactly as it is, because it just is. It already is. So resisting it would just create more of that. So it's insane to resist it, because you become that which you resist. You identify with that which you resist. Yeah. So of course we see the madness of the egoic consciousness. We see it clearly, but we see that it's a play within the one. So another phenomenon, when we go back into life, I usually mention this at the end of retreats as well. In the esoteric traditions, they talk about the general law. And the general law, it has to do with the sort of, if you think about the human experience, there's a certain kind of gravity where the activities of those in our orbit sort of keep us in that orbit. So the people that the people in your family, your friends, all of that, there's a certain orbit, a certain gravity, a certain pattern there. And when we start to do this work, we start to pull out of that orbit. And we pull out of that orbit that we've been in. And the general law is that center, that gravity will try to pull us back. The people in our family, our friends, our partner even sometimes, will see that we're not operating in that usual pattern, that usual orbit. And they'll try to interact with the character and get us to come back into that familiar pattern. And so just be aware of that. There's nothing to do except just be conscious that is happening. That can happen. Sometimes we come back from something like this, and we can see the patterns that we've been playing in our own minds, and you go back into life, and those patterns become really clear, and it's an opportunity to just see them fully. And it's not always comfortable when we go back to life, because we see those patterns. So it's not going to be all happy, blissful times. We may really come face to face with that, the truth of how we are, how we're living. So it's a real opportunity to see those patterns, and people in our life will You know, if sometimes there's drama, it's an ongoing thing in life. And, you know, if we're not buying into that drama, you know, we're watching our own part that we've been playing in that drama, you know, then the people around us will say, what's wrong with this person? What's wrong? They're not buying into the drama anymore. Or you know, it's like you're being cold and aloof, you know, I don't feel you care anymore, and you're become uncaring. But you know, but it's not that we're uncaring, it's that we're just not feeding that familiar pattern, and that can make others uncomfortable. We can make them start to see their own pattern or their own part in that pattern. So just be mindful of that, and you know, and when we share, you know, there's a it's beautiful to share with people, you know, what we've experienced here, and it's wonderful to you know, allow you know, this energy that's coming through to start sparking, you know, other people. But also be careful that you know, when we share this with the wrong people as well, you know, the energy can be lost. The energy can start to diminish, and before we know it, we're just telling a story. You know, we're just telling something from the mind. So really, the best way, you know, to light those fires in the world is to just be you. So it's not about you know, having to convince anyone of anything, or you know, really the most powerful thing is to you know, just be you, and it will be much more powerful than any story. You know, it's awesome to tell people we want to spread these teachings as much as we can, but yeah, just keep the, you know, the truth. You know, there's certain experiences, perhaps, or certain realizations that if we just turn them into words, you know, it's the mind again can start to appropriate. And you know, there's one thing that often happens after these retreats. You know, even after an awakening, and again, this is another little trick of the mind. This is a particularly insidious question that the mind asks. You know, even after an awakening, the mind will say, "Okay, there's been an awakening, but what's my purpose? What's my purpose?" You know, and you know, what is a purpose? A purpose. It's a huge project for the mind. You know, a purpose. You know, if I think, you know, this is my purpose. You know, I have to achieve this, and you know, what a huge burden to take on something like that. So just be careful of you know, concepts around that. Yeah, like the true purpose. You know, what is the purpose of a flower? You know, it's just to be what it is. You know, so your true purpose is to be what you are, and you already are that. So the true purpose is simply to be what you are, what you already are. You know, and then, you know, there's an energy that is moving through to explore this and that. And that energy is always alive and changing. This is the follow your bliss part of it. But that doesn't have to be a purpose. That's, you know, when you're a little kid and you're fully engaged in life, you want to play with your toy or whatever it is, you don't ask, what's my purpose? The energy just goes, you follow that. You just, it just moves. We just move. It doesn't have to be analytical. Yeah. So life just happens through us. And, in the Sufi tradition, they say, life is happening for you. It's not happening to you, it's happening for you. So whatever comes, whatever is here and now, we just invite it in. We say yes to it. Allow it to be as it is. Even the biggest challenges when they come, if I look back at my life, the biggest cliche that I had the most resistance to turned out to be the greatest gifts. And I know it sounds a little cliche, but it's true. And, whatever it was, sickness, a crisis in my business, where someone was trying to steal my business and all this stuff. These were the catalysts that brought me to meditation. The very thing we resist is very often the gateway to deeper knowing of ourselves. So I'm going to leave you with a poem, and many of you know this poem. It's a really famous poem. It's the Guest House by Rumi. This being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweeps your house empty of its furniture, still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. And, I'd like to mention just a couple more, a few more quotes here, just before we go. Lila always says I'm a quote whore, and I guess that's true. So. But these ones, they're very poignant. So, in the Bible, Jesus said, the kingdom of heaven is spread out upon the earth, and we do not see it. And to me, it's the same as this other quote from William Blake. William Blake said, "If the doors of perception were cleansed, then everything would appear to us as it is, infinite." Yeah, and this is the same as Rumi's teachings. Wherever the eye falls, there is the face of God. Yeah. So before we open it up here, this this retreat has been just a lot of people coming together for this retreat. And it's I just want to thank everyone who has been involved with this retreat. It's been an incredible amount of energy and momentum, and some people in particular, Lila has been behind the scenes answering countless questions and emails, holding things together. So thanks to Lila, and I'd like to thank the meditators in this space as well, and for holding, impeccable presence. And you're all pillars of presence. So yeah, thank you. Yeah, yeah. And yeah, I want to thank Tayama, who is our tech support ninja. She's been amazing in her energy and just tossing people into breakout rooms and keeping things working. And Alex for helping tech support and all the stuff that he does. And yeah, and all the facilitators as well. We've had this facilitator training program happening, and this is we've done some smaller things, but this is the first real retreat where we've had all these facilitators, and they're dedicating their time and energy, and yeah, it's just really beautiful. So thank you so much to everyone, and yeah, just everyone who has helped make this happen. So I'd love to hear from you guys now, and yeah, why don't we, Tayama, are you there?
I am here. Yeah, and I'm ready.
Awesome.
Theo.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hi, Theo.
Hi, Dan. Dan, these qualities that you bring to these beautiful retreats, like penetrating tenderness, like depth and understanding, sensitivity, creativity, love. I hate to be the one to tell you this, but they're very bad for the remaining tendencies in the self structure. They keep hugging remaining things like self justification, arrogance, the need to be right, tendencies that this dummy has held forever. I know it's not your fault. I don't blame, well, I do blame you. There's, he blames you for it, that little he. So I just want to tell you that I love you. Thank you so much for this. Um, uh, uh, it's well, there's no words for it really, but it's but great gratitude, great respect, appreciation for I've said it before, I can't help but say it again. You're a genuine friend on the journey, um, and for and the way in which this is presented and offered is has a sweetness to it that hugs a tendency until it just surrenders. Um, and this is rare and lovely. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think you were the first one at the end of the last retreat as well, right? I remember that. Yeah. It's interesting that you came up again. Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah. Thank you.
Margie.
I just want to thank you, Dan, so much for your presence and teaching, but also for Bill Free. I'm a Course in Miracles student. And if it weren't for that study and your teachings, they come together so beautifully, and they just opened me all up.
Mm.
And I just want to give you that gratitude, and also gratitude to Bill Free
Mm.
for allowing this to all happen.
Mm.
So I look forward to more with all of you. And thank you. That's all I can say with great gratitude.
Thank you. Yeah, and I'm very grateful to Bill as well. It's really, I find it really interesting how um, that whole Course in Miracles world, with Bill, he's really the whole self-inquiry thing has come alive for him, and he's really become a bridge between those worlds, and
Ah,
it's beautiful because at the beginning, I think the Awaken the World and the films and all of that were really more attracting people from Buddhism and Hinduism and all of that, maybe not so much the Christianity. And yeah, that the Course in Miracles and what Bill has been doing, it's a beautiful bridge, and I think it's the merging of these worlds is really
it
perfect.
it was. There just were so many lessons that helped bridge in the dyads and in your teaching. It was like, wow, they came alive, your teachings came alive. And I just want to encourage all who are studying the Course in Miracles to do this too, because it is absolutely um, opening.
Mhm.
It just teaches you that ego to put it in the back seat.
Mhm.
So I will always remember, Dan said, put the character in the back seat.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Margie. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Vernon.
Thanks, Dan. I actually had taken my hand down again because I was going to ask a question, but now that I'm back on, I also want to repeat what everyone else has said. It's been an amazing week, just a total miracle from day one to the end, and I'm hugely appreciative of that. A quick question, um, Al, in terms of Kundalini, is because I sort of had this wonderful experience yesterday. Is it phenomenon, or is the energy a teacher?
Hmm. Yeah, so with Kundalini, um, whenever there's, to me, when we use that word, what we're referring to is the evolutionary energy and potential within the entire self structure. So it's whatever that intelligence is, that sort of um, almost like a template for the possible unfolding of life. That's what we're talking about with Kundalini. And whenever there's an awakening, or there's even a glimpse of awakening, that energy awakens. And there is an intelligence in that energy. There's an intelligence in that template. We in life we spent a lot of time, in different levels of that energy, and the patterns repeat at those levels. But when that Kundalini energy comes online, it's like we shift out of those levels. We might shift to another level, or higher levels, and that energy, if we resist it, it can wreak havoc in our it'll create suffering. But if we understand what it is, and allow it to kind of guide us, it can be a teacher in a way. It can be sort of a compass, or if we can attune to it and allow that inner lotus to just unfold and whatever it's going to come through. So in that sense, it's kind of like a teacher or a compass pointing the way for that energy. You know, when we follow your bliss is like following that aliveness. Yeah.
But I certainly don't want to resist it. The impulse instead is to dive in completely and totally surrender. And as Chad mentioned yesterday, like dissolve the difference between subject and object, and basically cease to exist.
Yeah, the ultimate full bloom of that template is energy flows from the root to the crown, and that's the samadhi state. So yeah, and but that's also, there's also life unfolding as that whole rewiring is happening. So we want to make sure that we don't just try to go for that bloom without we have to grow the leaves and all of the other parts as well.
Okay, thank you so much for this week. Is wonderful. Everything you've done has been, for the last year, has been amazing. I've been following you for several years. Thank you.
Yeah,
Totally profound. All of it so profound.
thank you.
Maria.
From here, can you hear me?
Yes.
Also, very, 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 very big thank you to all of you, to all the team, and thanks, Dan, for the teaching, and also special thanks to Kamya, who really pushed me to a place like 3 days ago in a diet, and you also, Dan, in our diet. I didn't come here with an expectation. I really didn't want to find my true self. I only wanted to have the experience of these very long meditations, and finally I found it without wanting it, and it's so amazing. It's like, it feels like I have a new chakra somewhere above my head, and the Kundalini is so strong. It's like a pillar of light going through my whole body. So, and in the end, it was so easy because it has always been there, and it also has always been working. It's just only my intuition and my creativity and all these things that come from there. So I don't think it will be so difficult to keep or to stay in that energy, because just feel it when you are there, and you feel it when you are not, and you just don't do things that bring you somewhere else. So that's for me. But it was such a great week and such an amazing gift. And after my awakening last year, my whole life completely changed. And now it's kind of exactly that step that I needed to go on from here on a different continent with different people and everything. And to everyone, I like to share, I'm doing breathwork for more than a year now daily. And I also became a breathwork teacher, because for me, it's one of the strongest energetic tools I've ever come across. Besides meditation, but breathwork is easier for many people because it's just quicker. But if you do this, really be careful, because it's giving you so much energy into your body, and it can also bring you to very, very, very dark places somehow. So you really need a grounding if you want to do it. Besides Chad's amazing breathwork, I still want to share a channel, which is Breathe with Sandy. I hope that's okay here, but it's a very, very big breathwork channel. So everyone who's Googling it will find it anyway, probably. But this guy is really doing amazing work also. It's giving many short and long breathwork sessions and pranayama and many different techniques. So everybody who's interested in this, just try out this channel. It's on YouTube, and it's one of the biggest, so you would find it anyway. Exactly, Breathe with Sandy is really awesome. I'm doing it for more than a year, and it brought me to places. Yeah. Amazing. So yeah, thank you all. And I think I like to end with Baba Ram Das, who said, "I'm just loving awareness." And I think that kind of nails it for me. That's just everything there is to say after the diets. And I will sure do the next retreat with you, because I'm also bringing new people, I think, because it was such a gift you gave to all of us. So thank you, everyone. Really, thank you.
Thank you. Beautiful. Wonderful. Yeah. Feel free to put that link in the chat there if people want to connect. I think there's so many different modalities and teachings out there, and it's our inner guidance will guide us to what we need at the right time. So yeah, thank you.
Yuneri.
So who are we looking for again?
Yuneri. And if she's not here, we'll go to Tatiana.
Okay.
Here we
Sorry,
go.
I think I meant to have my hand lowered. Sorry.
Hi there.
I don't know if you're talking with me or with Yuniari.
Yeah, Tatiana. We'll go back to you.
Oh.
Yeah,
All right.
Tatiana.
Hello. Do you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Dan, thank you so much. I want to honor and bless your life for what you're doing. Thank you. Thank you for your amazing. The mind wants to say work, and I know it's not the work, for your amazing life, for what you are bringing here. This week was a big integration for me. A big integration, big knowing that I always was here. It's not it's not another way. It's like in every meditation that was taking me to a place of my life to bring presence there and see I was there. And I was there, and I was there, and I was there. And I look at all this suffer and all this crying, I don't want to be there. Wasn't me, it was only the mind. The mind telling, I don't want this, I don't like this. And that was the best moments of my life. And I can say, oh, wow, what a wonderful, wonderful, amazing life. Thank you for every tear, for every moment, for every flavor, for every color. Oh my God, thank you. Thank you so much. Also, I don't know, the mind was wondering if you do one-on-one encounters, teachings, talkings.
Sorry, can you repeat that? One-on-one?
Yeah, you do one-on-one, I don't know, conversations.
You can just email us. We can connect if you.
Oh right, yeah. I would really like that, because this is only what I guess is now I can see the mind, and it's crazy because sometimes I'm in the shower and it's a thought coming and saying, oh my God, what's going on with this? No, and now I said, it's why I was so sad all the time, because I was letting all these thoughts doesn't have any sense to land on my body, and it's too much, no? The last night I wake up with a hello. And I start to feel so much fear inside for a hello. And then now I learned, thanks God, to feel that, no, and I started said, all right, it's time to feel it, no, and I feel on my body the feeling of fear, and after that, it was amazing again, no, every time the feeling is coming to say, hey, I'm here, feel me, no.
Yeah, amazing. That's a really important insight for everyone to hear, like that's really it, if we can just feel everything, and things are gonna come. Life will always test, this whatever the human experience is, it's set up in a way that yeah, there's always new things that come. And if we can just do exactly what you just did, that's it. Yeah, then just allow it.
Yeah, everything is coming. No, you feel love, sad, all the time. You are feeling things, and you say, no, 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 no. I was the one to say, no, don't cry, don't. Feel the anger, feel. That's what we need to do. No, without reaction, with equanimity, as you said. Thank you so much. Thank you, Tayama. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. I
Thank you.
honor your life.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Beautiful.
Thanks.
One thing I'll mention is that if you haven't connected with the Awaken the World community as well, so we have usually ongoing every month. We'll do like either guided meditation or dyad sessions, and we do a Q&A just like this, where we meet on Zoom. And so a good way to connect with me, because there's so many people, and the truth is I don't have time usually to do one-on-one with people, but that's a great way. Every month, we can connect and face to face, and yeah, and there's a beautiful little community. A lot of them are here, actually. It's this community, really. So yeah, but it's ongoing. So, and that'll all be in the newsletter, the follow-up email that we send out. So yeah, thank you.
Are you there, Unary, now?
Yes.
Perfect.
Hi. So I just want to, sorry, I wasn't not gonna say. So first of all, I want to thank Lisa. Is she the name of the facilitator? Or Lisa, is she one of the facilitators?
Yeah, there's Lisa is one of the facilitators.
Okay, I just really want to thank her because so I wasn't expecting anything after like yesterday, and then basically she said something simple in the dais, and that just something just really clicked. That was I've been still in shock in that thing because I tried way harder things than that word that she said, and nothing really worked because I always thought my ego is just like it's just too strong. It's uh, like a heavyweight champion of egos. Because I'm just a super skeptical and thoughtful, and I'm not like emotional. I don't connect with my body and at all. So so what happened yesterday was like I was in shock with that. And also I think I just want to say that I did not come to like basically um I was just I'm not on a journey to anywhere, but basically I was just learning to allowing to it's more from just a psychology perspective to allow things to be because that's the only way that I can deal with my pretty intense pain and depression and all that and that kind of led me to just different spiritual things, but I wasn't in here for the spiritual reasons. But so my insight was the allowing and everything. Actually, the only thing that worked is because that is the true nature of me. you are supposed to be loving and allowing everything because that's your true nature. And then I just that thing just like it's not the allowing that works, it's like kind of flipped, right? Because all these psychological like techniques of allowing your feelings, allowing things to be, I feel like they actually work because they're aligned with the energy of the truth. I just want to, well, that's a secondary share. I just really want to thank Lisa, even though she really doesn't care, but really that's was pretty amazing. So
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's interesting how sometimes we come for one reason and the different reasons show up as well. We never know sometimes what will unfold. I got into meditation. I didn't even know samadhi existed, or I had a true nature or any of that stuff. I just had insomnia. I just wanted the off button for the mind, and then I was quite surprised when I realized.
I basically just like I'm just sick. I need to go to a doctor, so I don't care. It's like I'm not expecting. Yeah. So, but anyways, it's amazing what happened. I'm
Awesome.
still in shock. So,
Awesome. Wonderful. Thank
oh,
you.
but really, my deepest gratitude.
Thank you.
I think it's all the energy combined that you know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Monique.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Dan. I don't know if you can see me. Yes.
Can
Oh,
see.
Are
different.
two together now?
Oh, who do we?
Sorry.
Sorry.
Oh, we have two Moniques. So Monique Bouffard first.
Okay.
Thank you, Monique. I'll come back to you.
Sorry about that. Okay, I'm right here. Here you go. Thank you so much. So much. I was very surprised. I didn't expect that at all. The old teaching, the dyad. I didn't know that somebody did that, started to. And the reason why I say that is, and I have two questions. So I don't usually ask questions, but I also from A Course in Miracles, and the first lesson of A Course in Miracles, it says, nothing I see means anything. And I was like, I saw the word nothing. And then I realized that nothing is total. It doesn't have any duality in it. And then if I thought if nothing I see means anything, so what is this world? So I was on my chair and looking in the window, and I look at the tree, and I asked the tree, what are you? If you know the tree that I learned you're a tree, that people told me, what are you? And I just waited. And it's like the tree became a word.
Oh.
And the tree says, like consciousness says, I am consciousness playing as a tree. And I understood in my mind the whole teaching of A Course in Miracles that way. And then when you did, I was told to do the dyad, and I had no idea what it was. I didn't hear about you before. I didn't know. And I was so amazed that you put that down, you're teaching it. I think this is unbelievable. This is incredible. I am so grateful for that. I am so grateful. And maybe one thing I want to say is, if I did it with a tree, and it's very nice to do it with other people, but if I did it with a tree, I can do it with anything. I can do with a car when I'm driving and
Yeah,
ask the car, what are you?
yeah, absolutely anything. Yeah, a coffee table, a toilet. Yeah, absolutely anything. Yeah,
Right, that's right. And
yeah,
that's the simplicity of it. The more I've been listening to you teaching, it's like if you're reading my mind, and the more I saw the simplicity of it, like this, it's impossible for the mind to understand that. So I have two questions.
mhm,
This is the first time in any, I haven't done much teaching, but because I've done the Course in Miracles for 20 years, and that's about all what I did. And this is the first time that I hear when you mention the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
mm,
And you also mentioned, you said beyond the concept of no self. You also mentioned, you went to the Vedas, the Indian teaching, and you also mentioned three.
yeah,
And that I was so amazed because when you have download of you ask question and suddenly you have download and you see like the whole thing,
mm.
it's not coming from you. And I went, oh my God, he knows. Oh my God. So my question is, um, let's see, referring to A Course in Miracles, my question is, you said, I and my Father are one in your teaching. Okay, my question is, I and my Father are one. Do you see that as dual or non-dual?
So it depends. So it depends who's saying it, right? So yeah, it depends, because it could just be something coming from the mind, right? But if I'm in a samadhi state, then it's true. Then if I'm in direct connection, then it's not just the little mind saying it. Then it is true, and it's the Trinity is that awareness, that and the manifestation, and then there's the one who awakens to that, the son or daughter, or the whatever our role, our human role is, to awaken, in human form. It's like the word, the logos made flesh, so 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 yeah, so it really it depends. It can just be concepts and words, or it can be a lived truth, a lived experience. Yeah.
I guess I asked that because the Course in Miracles teaches from they mention the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Mhm.
And when I had that experience with the tree, it was totally non-dual. I mean, because I was total,
Yeah.
when I experienced, it was consciousness, awareness. Then I saw that awareness can only see itself,
Yeah.
because when awareness comes, you see everywhere the same. And that's the world that is. I believe that there is a world, but there is a world, a perfect world, but we don't see it. We see
Yeah.
it with our mind, but we don't see it. Okay. You mentioned beyond the concept of no self with the Buddha. Um, what do you mean by that? Can you clarify?
By which, sorry, what exactly?
Beyond the concept of no self,
Yeah.
because you did a speech, a talk,
Yes.
according to some like the Buddha or some other teaching would say there is a self, and some other
Yeah.
teachings say there's no self.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's much like what you just described. Like there's, beyond the concept of no self, we have this idea that, of emptiness or formlessness or, awareness, whatever it is. But if it's just conceptual, when we drop that concept, we're dropping this filtering mechanism, all those five skandhas, and beyond that, is that non-dual experience that you referred to. It's like everything. And I forget what poem it was, but there was some poet said that everything reveals its true name in that non-duality. And it's all I am. It's all the one, and so to me, beyond the concept of no self is the dropping away of that ego, the dropping away of the little me, to come into direct union with life, with all that is. Yeah.
Then there is no self.
Well, it's not that there's no self. There's no self, and there's no other than self. So it's like conceptually, when we drop the concept, it's just what is.
Yes.
There's just what is. Yeah.
Yes, there is, I understand now, because doing the dyad, I realized, oh my God, the experience I had at the dyad, the opening, every time I had a huge opening. And being right here was a big opening. And I was here, and I was the only one. I don't know how to explain that, but I was the only one, and everything I saw was me.
Yeah.
Like, so
Yeah.
can you say that the self, there's no self and there is a self?
Yeah, well, it's just when we try and conceptualize it, right? If you're everything, then what is that self, right? It's not, there's no thing because it's everything, right? So that's it. It's language is dualistic. That's the problem. Yeah. So all we can do is point. These different teachers point in their own ways, but the problem is they have to use language, so nobody understands them, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, I totally understand. One more thing is, I was with a teacher for 20 years, and I've been having an experience that I've never understood. And the teacher I had is not the kind of teacher that we ask questions. We never ask questions. We don't meditate. It's totally different. But I never understood that. It's like if I say, when you are in a deep sleep, like, can you have a deep sleep awake?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is what's meant by turiya, or the highest samadhi, is when the I am, like we can wake up, in a self-inquiry dyad, but we're in waking form. We're still, there's still the room, there's still our partner, everything, so the I am can wake up in the waking state. That I am can be there, present, awake in the dream state, and that I am can even be aware in deep formless sleep when the mind and body have dropped off. And that, so that when I refer to like a full kensho or a full awakening, it's when that presence is unbroken in waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. Yeah.
The reason why I asked that is, I was having the experience of, out of the blue, I will come back. Like the mind comes back. It was very subtle. Like the mind comes back, and I thought, oh, where was I? How come? And then I always thought, just if I must have been asleep, I fell asleep on the couch, on the chair, or whatever. And one time I was in the middle of the driveway talking with people, talking with one person in conversation, and he came back again. Like I came back, like in body and mind, and I went, where was I? I was not asleep. I'm standing up in the driveway, like in the parking, not talking.
Mm-hmm.
So I've never understood that.
Yeah. And it's very mysterious. It's incredible that, there's something, in deep sleep, like the mind and body drop off, and then all of a sudden they come back. you know, but who knows that, you know, who's aware of that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I was not there, but I was uh,
I think we're frozen.
I can hear you.
okay.
You were frozen, Dan. Yeah.
Oh, I was frozen there for a second. Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
You heard me.
Oh, no, I missed what you said there. Yeah.
Okay. Um, let me go back to what I said. I think I forgot. It's just that I could not understand.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I realized that the body and the mind was functioning very good because when the mind came back, which was very subtle, it's just like I was functioning, like I was talking, and I was. So how can this same question? How can I function? It's that there's no mind at all, and I'm still functioning very well. So
Exactly. Yeah,
yeah,
that's it. That's it. You know, you can think without thinking, without a thinker. You know, you can do without that little doer. You know, the life continues to do, you know, to go through, but that little thinker can be dropped away. Yeah.
yeah, this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
The, you you are teaching me more than I have never um, heard. All my question, you answered to all my question, and that was the only that was that question that I could not understand. So
Mhm.
I was going to say I love you, but thank you so.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you
Mhm.
everybody. Now the
Yeah.
help that was here, that was unbelievable.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you.
Kelly.
Hello.
Hi, Kelly.
So, first, as everyone has been saying, but I'd like to say it too, just thank you. The amount of energy that has to go into all of this from everyone, um, it's amazing. And Dan, your presence throughout, it's really admirable. This is a long retreat, and the way you answered questions and held space for everyone throughout with a deep presence it's really shows your fortitude and compassion. So thank you. And to everyone in the background too. And yeah, the music, the blending in of different traditions and different practices. I have not attended a retreat just like this. And I'm very glad that I did. There's a lot going on in my personal world, and my mind almost talked me out of it attending, because I'm in the process of ending a relationship and moving, and I thought there's no way I can fit this into my life right now. And I did what I could. I couldn't attend every piece of it. I'm very grateful that there's recordings. But yeah, I attended what I could and got out of it what I needed is what it feels like.
Mhm.
And there's kind of a beautiful, in the last day, even the last couple of days, something new came through regarding like very difficult to put into words, but going beyond stillness, going beyond certain dualistic concepts. That's the
Yeah,
best way to put it. And that's kind of the
yes,
message that was coming in a lot yesterday. Like there's something even beyond stillness.
yeah,
And I don't even know what that is yet.
yeah.
But
Good.
yeah,
Stay in that not knowing. You know, the knowing mind will want to make a concept out of it, and as soon as you know, that's when you know you don't know.
yeah, but to feel that, that's not something I've felt before. So it felt good, yeah, just to kind of rest in that curiosity of, don't know what that means, but okay, this is so very grateful for all the dyad partners and all all that, yeah, came together to make this happen. I haven't attended one of these before, so I guess the only question I did have was regarding yeah, it sounds like I know there's an app coming out to help people meet and do dyads together. And you mentioned about like meeting, once a month as well. And I guess, yeah, there was a question in there somewhere around like um other ways to keep this going. I guess that's the
Yeah,
best way that I
yeah.
can put it. Um,
So there is an Awaken the World community page. I don't know if you've checked that out, but
okay,
and that'll be in the email as well. So
okay,
if you go on there as well, there's a find a dyad partner page on there, so you can connect with people, hook up with dyads, and it's just like a forum where people do all sorts of things on there. You can, if you have things coming through on the path, like you want to share a spiritual poem or artwork or stuff like that. There's all kinds of different things, and just ways to connect with people and stay connected as well.
and that's on the website, or is it through like Facebook or?
It's on, if you just go to the awakentheworld.com homepage, it's on,
Okay,
there's a link to it right on that homepage somewhere, right in the main area there. So,
okay, wonderful.
mhm,
Thank you to everyone.
awesome. Yeah, thank you.
Much love. Thank you.
The other Monique. Monique.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hi. Hi. My deepest thanks to you, Dan, and to all the team for your gentle caring. And I really, really appreciated that. And I also want to say that I feel very much supported by presence. And because up front I was making this story that it would be difficult because of the time zone difference to follow all the events, but I managed very well, actually. It was managed very well, I must say. And I feel very supported.
Mm,
And what amazes me is that presence came in so casually.
mm, mhm,
I was hearing all these stories of big revelations, and a certain point in time, I thought, well, I nearly missed it, but it's already there.
mm,
So I just want to share that I'm leaving this retreat with a kind of a vigilant feeling to the endless strategies and lifelong plans from this little character to make it feel safe, to get a safe feeling.
mm,
And I wasn't looking at the right place.
mm.
So I will continue on this journey, and I will certainly see you again. Many thanks to all of you, also to the other participants, the diet partners, everybody. Thank you very much.
Mhm. Thank you. Thank you. I like how you describe the simplicity of, how it was always there. Like we can almost miss it. The mind is so busy looking for something that, you know,
Yeah, was a deep revelation
yeah.
in hindsight. And I consider that to be very funny, that in hindsight, I realized, I nearly missed it.
Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Alina.
Dear Dan, Lila, the facility, Tatiana, all guys here, thank you so much for this amazing journey. And this is my second retreat, and I have to say that it's the same feeling of a family. I don't want to leave it. And I believe many people like me feel the same, because it's just amazing energy and it's really family. But the people like me who started that separation you then were talking about today, just about a while ago, and I don't feel I don't have loneliness, but I love solitude. So my place, my energy is so full of that emptiness and so beautiful that I never feel lonely, never. I have my cat, I have connection to spirits. I'm very connected to extraterrestrial, to the animals, to the bugs, to the forest. And I recognize this energy because this time the awakening, the real awakening happened. And I recognize this energy because I had it before in my beautiful forest with the waterfall connecting to the animals, to the trees, to everything around. And it just was so deep in this time, the deep work happened. And just amazing. Very funny thing that yesterday in meditations, I realized that I need a meditation for 2 hours now because this works better for me. And I saw everything what was after that, what you were in teachings and meditation. Even I didn't look at the page yesterday. So what was going to be, I had all of that in my meditations, and Buddha came so many times. It just was so, I don't know how to describe it. It was so beautiful energy. And my English is not enough to express that. It just, I'm so happy. I'm so amazed by the word, but at the same time, I feel started testing even this morning, just 5 minutes before this session. So, for example, my mom yelled on me, slammed the door, and we're crying. The regular pattern behavior of the person with that mind victim, pattern. And now I feel I need more separation, and this time from the family. It doesn't really mean that I don't love them. I do love them. But one person was hurt when I said that I do love the bug, same as the person, as the human. It's difficult to explain what it means because everything is matter, everyone is treated the same. But I don't look at that as I treat something. I just love that energy, that living energy, and appreciate and grateful for this existence. Because this is my experience. Every step in this lifetime is experience. At the same time, from this retreat, there was a lot of changes. So what happened now, I really think about what I have to do in my everyday life, this integration period, because a lot of changes, I need a lot of changes. For example, I realized my job doesn't serve me well, even though I was thinking about the pension money and all of that, the package of the medical insurance and so on. Now, it doesn't really make any sense for me because this is not what I am. Yeah, it is important part of the material life and everyday life, but at the same time, I feel so connected and so supported from above or around me. So I think I need a lot of changes, and starting with all the goals I was making a lot of plans, different kind of courses. So now everything is gone. No, it doesn't really matter. But my question is how to integrate into the life peacefully. And it doesn't really mean not to react, because I feel more compassion and more love to to people who struggle, like my mom now. At the same time, I don't want to be part of that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So my question to you, one of the questions is, how long it took for you to integrate into new life after the awakening happened? And how long it took for your life to change the way you wanted?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'll say a few things. There a few things came up for me in what you're saying. So yeah, so the first thing is something that actually several of my teachers said to me after doing a retreat like this. So sometimes the patterns that we're playing out in life, they're very clear when we go back to our world, and it's a tendency sometimes where we come out of a retreat like this and it's like we want to clean house, and sometimes there's a belief that actually something has to change in the external for me to be happy. And that's just a belief. It's a concept, and on the flip side of that is sometimes there's a belief that that something won't have to change in the outer world, and that's a belief or concept as well, and both are a way for the mind to control, either turning it into a project or denying that something has to change. And I think as we go deeper on the path, we start to feel what life wants, and we feel that out moment by moment, so it's so for some people there is big dismantling and change, and sometimes nothing really changes, and it's actually internal that changes. It's our resistance to life and the world that drops away. And so there's this, again, this middle way of kind of feeling it out. And for me, like these patterns that are in play, like there's still, like it's not like I never get triggered or, things happen, but now energy moves through a lot faster, like something in a relationship that comes up now, it might, the energy of it might stick, for a short period of time, whereas in the past, the little self might be brooding for hours about it, and I think there's this progression where it's like we're just allowing life to move through more and more, and for me, it's an ongoing thing, and it took many years to kind of move from a business where my energy was mostly going to business and making money and all of that to gradually putting into place all these things that kind of support the consciousness that I or the way I want to live, and it's still ongoing, and it's still an exploration. It's not like I've made it anywhere. I don't even know exactly what's going to happen 2 months from now. It's still happening, but there, I would say the more we just let life move through, things arrange themselves in beautiful ways, and the synchronicities and the intelligence of life. If we trust that, we can't imagine what life has in store for us.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. So the way we are open, everything is possible. It's just physical mind cannot predict what really happens, what is gonna happen, right? We don't know that yet. The only way I learn from this that I have to come back to true me, to be in this stage all the times possible, to really let that slow down and to put on the shelves the way it should be because of the huge support from the universe, right? But at this stage, do we still have to make the choices, or the best way is to let the things settle down itself, because sometimes we still have to make some choices in life. And I understand that no resistance is that which let us be ourselves, but sometimes the choice must be made. So I'm wondering if you still have that choice to
Yeah,
make.
I would say like it's about making it conscious, to see, you know, what what is actually happening in the mind. The mind has a preference and it's choosing something. It's choosing this over that, and we can explore, those beliefs that are, inherent in that choice. If I'm choosing something, I must believe that there's some benefit, that it's going to lead to happiness, but it's an external condition, right? So, is my happiness flowing from, am I trying to get happiness from that external, changing that situation? Or is there a fulfillment and a happiness that is uncaused? It doesn't come from external conditions. It comes simply from knowing the true self.
Thank you. You mentioned that once you have been awakened, the illness is gone because that energy cleans everything. And I believe so this time both awakening happened with me, including the Kundalini one, and I was surprised, but it just happened. So the question, if you can share that, how long it took for you to clean all of these, drop all of the illnesses, because with all of this unhealthy behavior I had in my life, I got some condition, and I'm wondering, how long it may take.
Mhm.
Possible.
Yeah, so for me, first of all, for what really shifted was my idea of what healing even was. So when I was really sick, my idea of healing was, I wanted to be able to go back and do all the things that my little character wanted to do, so eat the foods that it wanted to eat and do the things it wanted to do. And I thought that then I would be healed if I could go back and just return to life as it was, so part of it was allowing something different to unfold. I found that if I aligned my life differently, then the energy would sort of carry me. And so even now, if I were to go back to that old pattern, there would be that sickness would come back, that all of that would come back. So that was my first thing, and I think it's different for everybody. I think it depends on, everybody has a unique mind body state. So, for me, it took about, I would say the first 2 years were the biggest dramatic shift of doing when I really got into Vipassana meditation. I went from being extremely sick, almost exiting the planet, to being back in a with some vitality. So that period was about 2 years. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And the last question is about duration of the retreat, because this is my second time, and I know it is 7 days. Can I ask, if I can, why 7 days? Why not 3, 10, 5 of the retreat?
Yeah.
The second question related to retreat would be, have you ever thought about something is between, for like as long as 3 days, let's say Friday and weekend, which would be helpful for people, but I'm not sure it's helpful for you.
Yeah. No, we do sometimes, the self-inquiry intensives where we just go from early morning to late at night, continuously doing dyads. Those are usually, 3-day retreats. And they're really, they're much more intensive than this in those 3 days. So we do that. We haven't done them online yet, but that might be, I don't know if that'll happen or not. but those are usually in-person retreats. But I think the 7 days is it just seems like people go through a wave, you know, of intensity, and it just seems to be about the right length of time. You know, we at the center we started out doing 10-day retreats, which is kind of traditional. You know, the Vipassana retreats are usually 10 days, and then we shortened it to 9 because we felt that wave was complete at 9, and the online I don't know, seven just seems right. I don't know. There's no magical reason for it, but yeah.
Yeah, 7 days feels perfect for me as well, because it's a little difficult even to take a vacation more than 7 days in US.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, and I love you all. All the
Thank
best.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. So we have 14 minutes left.
Yeah.
I don't know how much time you need to wrap up, Dan, and we have 4 participants that have been waiting for their hands up. So
Yeah.
just, we do have time to answer the 4, and
Yeah.
we'll just be mindful of the time for you.
Perfect.
All right, Greg, you're up.
Hey everyone. Yeah. Yeah, it's so special to have the opportunity to do something like this and to have everyone come together in these spaces. It's always, yeah, really, really special. Yeah, it feels a little bit, it's interesting. I think the biggest takeaway so far and what's been, or what was most kind of present over the last few days is really just getting more in touch with the way that the mind is going to be doing all of its little activities, and it's going to it has its whole like seeking thing and all these different thoughts and ideas about stuff and about related to the path, and is it this or is it that, or should I do this? And it's so helpful just to see that, and realize that there's something totally beyond that taking place, or something totally underneath it taking place, on all these levels. And yeah, it's so nice to, yeah, it's really, really beautiful, really precious.
Beautiful.
Yeah, one other thing I wanted to say is that, it's the kind of the seeking energy is a lot less now than it used to be, which is nice. It makes experience more pleasant. Though I noticed that it's still there. It's still there in like this way, like before each retreat, having like maybe this retreat there'll be like a big awakening, like this will finally like do it. This will be like the big event. And then like afterwards, like I was reflecting like an hour ago, there's like some disappointment that's present, like, oh, it didn't happen this time, it didn't happen this time. Like I need to, maybe next time, this sort of thing. And so it's interesting just to like see that, um,
That's a
taking
huge,
place.
yeah, to see that because that conditioned mind is all it is a pattern of chronic dissatisfaction. It just wants something other than what is, right? And if we can smile at that and just see it, and that's it, just make it conscious. Yeah. And it's that's freedom. Then we know we're not that, you know.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, thank you. And thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Jonas.
Um, I have the feeling if I continue, it's going to fry my nervous system. But I kind of also feel like I don't really have a choice. I don't know. Ah. I don't know. There's so much that I would like to share. And at the same time, I know that I can't really. Yeah. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't. It's all is well. I just can't.
I think you just have. I think you just have. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonas.
Thank you.
Kimmy.
Thank you. Dan, forgive the clumsiness of the words, as I don't think that there are any words that exist to fully articulate what I'm trying to convey. But the mind has always been brilliant at learning, and it's held the character in good stead over my entire lifetime. But for the first time in this lifetime, I have met somebody in you whose presence managed to permeate the presence within me, because that presence is one, which allowed me to fully experience who I am. So this retreat for me was not about learning. It truly was about being. And I have never experienced this before. So from my heart to yours, to our collective heart, which is one, my heartfelt thanks and gratitude to you. A big shout out to Leela. I don't even know what she looks like, but she has been amazing in walking this path. Hi. She has been amazing in walking this path with me. There was so much of resistance to actually get to the point of being on this retreat. I mean, Leela will tell you that I wasn't even on your register or your initial email, etc., even though I registered like months ago. And every platform in this life has been burning to the extent that it became an excuse for me not to be here. And miraculously, within the last 10 days before the retreat, even my job was taken away from me to make space and time to actually be here. And it's an amazing, amazing blessing. So to you, to your team, thank you for truly shifting me in a way that I cannot explain. Thank you to this entire group for this collective space that was held for this unfolding, for this beingness. And a heartfelt thank you to one of your facilitators, Christopher Barham. If it was not for him, I would not have even heard about this retreat. And despite all the burning platforms, he still encouraged me to give it a go. And I am forever changed because of that. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Bless you, bless me, bless us all. Om Namah Shivaya, Jai Shakti Ma.
Amen.
Amen.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you for being permeable to awareness.
Lila. Lila.
Yes.
The group would really love to hear from you. If you have something to say. Lila.
Oh, one way to put me on the spot. Oh, thank you so much, everyone, for being part of this retreat and communicating with me on the sides. And I don't even know what to say. This is kind of a shock. It's the little Lila likes to be in the background, so yeah, it's been a beautiful retreat with you all, and yeah, I just keep moving forward. Dan is an incredible teacher who shares, and the whole team here is incredible, showing up, and so are you. And it's really interesting to have a glimpse of something unfamiliar, something different what we've been used to, something that has kind of broken up the pattern of how we live. And that's what this retreat can do for a lot of you. And it is basically these retreats, when you do self-inquiry and the group process, it's basically sort of a nudging at your true nature. It's sort of like waking you up from the dream of who you think you are. And and that's what the self is doing. It's playing the game of retreat. It's playing the game of self-inquiry, you know, playing the master game of hide and seek to find itself. Somehow it appears to have forgotten, you know, its true nature. And this is what this is about. And so is every day. And every day when you're at home and you're present with what you're doing, you know, working, doing the dishes, you know, eating your dinner, it's an invitation to be with what is. And because this is it, this is the only thing that there is. And the self plays the game of searching for something other than this. And that's the game of hide and seek. So every moment when you're at home, wherever you are driving, it's an opportunity to be present as you are, right there, because there's nothing else. So there's nothing to search for, but once again, it is not the little self that's searching. It is you, the true nature of who you are, is playing the game to find itself, because that's what life is about. And you made it to this retreat to see that the whole life is about the self finding its own true nature, like, which is always where you are. It just appears to be searching, but you're already that. So it's okay if the little character is still confused, and because that little character is illusory, so is the confusion. It's just arising. But just know that if you zoom out, you are the one appearing as that character, searching, confused. That's part of the whole game, the game of, you know, coming home, which is always there. So just know your true nature is that. It's not the character. Yeah, you're playing the game of retreat. You're playing the game of learning and looking for yourself. But just know that this is it. And every moment at home, wherever you are, there's an opportunity to just be as you are. Yeah. So thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, honey.
The time we're at 11 a.m., which is when it's supposed to be time. We have two people. If they'll be really quick, are we okay to take those, Dan?
Sounds
okay.
good.
Arvana.
I just want to, can you hear me, Dan? Oh. I just want to, from my bottom of my heart, I'm not a good speaker, but I just want to say how much I'm grateful for you and Lilo and all team that allowed me to be in such a divine space. I really was a great desire to be here, wanted to be here. And the way your teaching is, it brought me a lot of ease on my seeking journey, which is a big change. Is great ease and just realizing all that needed. I just sending my love. I don't know how to say it, to you, Lilo, Tayama, Chad, and all the facilitator, Alex. And yeah, thank you so much for allowing me to be part of this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For sharing. Thank you. Beautiful.
Hi, Joseph. I know you've been waiting a long time. It is now your turn.
I'll be quick. I just want to point out, if you build it, they will come. And the people that I experience here are an amazing, amazing group of individuals, not to be taken lightly. People are having true awakenings. People are traveling through dimensions. Like, this is not your typical cohort of individuals. And it takes a village to raise a child, but we don't really have villages out in the real world. But what you've created here is an opportunity for people, like everyone I connect to, I instantly see a brother or a sister or a father or a mother, and the social connections that are available through this experience are undeniable and irreplaceable. So thank you so much for what you've built. And I didn't have a true awakening, but this morning after meditation, I was sitting outside watching the sunrise over the mountains, and I just had such an unbelievable sense of anticipation for life and gratitude. So thank you just for centering me in this life. And thank you for introducing me to this community, and much gratitude to you and your team for everything that you do. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Joseph. Yeah, it's really, it's beautiful. All of this really started out, with my own meditation practice. And, the first film was just me in my basement doing, putting it out in the world without any idea of, connecting with people. And somehow all of this just started to happen. And it's really, I'm so grateful that, that there's resonance, somehow it's like we put out this little signal, and then stuff starts to happen. People who hear that signal become part of things, and stuff starts to grow. And then before we know it, there's this beautiful community, and it's mysterious, this awakening that is happening. It's like, it's just happening on the planet. And whether it's through Awaken the World or different platforms and teachers, and we've on our films put in all these amazing teachers who are they're doing the same things in their areas and their communities. And to me, it's just so amazing that it's happening, and but without all of you showing up here and doing this work, it wouldn't exist. So thank you for everyone. It's been a deep honor and privilege to be part of your journey, and to see you doing this amazing work together. Yeah. So thank you, and stay awake in the dream. Yeah.
To the dream, yeah.
Yes, as the dream. Yes.
As the dream.
Yes.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thanks everyone. And once again, thanks to everybody who, all the facilitators, Lila, Tayama, and Chad, everyone, Alex. Yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, so we'll be connecting, following up through email, and I hope to see you in future events. Yeah, so thanks everyone.
Thank you,
Thank
Dan.
you.
Okay,
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Love you.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you for your presence. Oh my God.
Bye, everybody.
Ah, this is so beautiful.
So beautiful energy.